Okay, so I'm going to start with a little BookLooks 101. So this is their content-based rating system. You'll see it's 0 to 5. The number one thing you can notice here is that on such a limited scale from 0 to 5, 4 and 5 means no minors. They needed 2 actual ratings to mean they don't think that minors should have access to it. Make that make sense. Also, if you have to realize that BookLooks was originally created not for public libraries, but it was for the Moms for Liberty groups to go after books in the public school libraries. So, they don't necessarily differentiate between the adult section and the young adult section in the school libraries. So when you look at the database, sometimes they will have books that are already in our adult section, and it's a non-issue. So we have no minors is 4, 5 is aberrant content, adult only, which, doesn't no minors mean adult only? And then we have 3, which is minor restricted. So that means under 18 requires guidance of a parent or guardian. But then you have number 2, which is teen guidance, which is some content may not be appropriate for children under the age of 13. Well, if it's minor restricted and teen guidance, isn't that kind of the same thing, really? I mean, under 18 requires guidance of a parent or guardian, and number 2 means teen guidance. That means you're saying that a teenager would need to have guidance also. Level 1 is child guidance. That some content may not be appropriate for very young children, but it doesn't define very young children. What do you mean by very young children? It doesn't give an age range on that. What's interesting here also is that they do use content. It says right up here, content-based rating. So you have, different things that they will elevate a book as far as the rating goes, if it has such as an LGBTQ character, or if it contains it'll say controversial commentary on religion or race or other issues that they don't, or like controversial historical references. You'll see that in some of if you go through their book reports, you'll see that sometimes. It's basically stuff they don't like. And also what's interesting to see with the 0 is for everyone. So those are books that they have deemed are for everyone. They do have a handful of books that they've rated that they've said, okay, yeah, everybody can read that. So that's interesting while you're going through the list. But at our local library, what they have deemed as not appropriate, that they've been moving through the teen section right now, is pretty much everything rated 3, 4, and 5. There was one series that they allowed to stay that was level 3, but it had no profanity. The other ones had profanity and they moved them. The number 2 for teen guidance, those are ones that they have looked at more closely. So I'd say it's about a 50-50 shot on whether or not they're going to allow it to stay in the young adult room or not. So think about this. We have a teen room with no teen books is essentially what it is. Right now they're going through and they're using this BookLooks, which the BookLooks database is about 700 books in that database. And, it's not extensive. They choose which books they're going to look at and rate based on their own criteria and their own biases. Because they're looking for books for their group members and to go out and remove from these from different libraries. That's their goal, is to restrict, remove in any way, shape, or form.